Chapter 5 Ideal Assistance. Prior to projection. Tuesday, July 24th, 1979. I went to bed at 8:05 p.m. Shortly after, the extraphysical consciousness, Jose Grosso, began working with energy while coupled with me. I stayed semi-conscious until 9 p.m. I was alone in the bedroom with the door closed. The helper, Jose Grosso, radiated energy through me, having me sit on the bed several times. Then the team of extraphysical consciousnesses attended to someone in front and to the right of my soma. The psychosoma is a condenser of cosmic energies, psionics in parapsychology. Emission of denser energy is used to assist psychotic postmortems, earthbound spirits, see glossary, as well as to reduce the density of the psychosoma while projected. With time, one becomes accustomed to living with both the dense soma and the subtle psychosoma. During the semi-consciousness of the projective trance, I clearly felt an influx of energy concentrated on the right cerebral hemisphere. It involved pressure over the forehead and, after a while, it remained on the right side of my forehead only. I fell asleep after 11:15 p.m. Extraphysical period. I became lucid outside of the soma on an unfamiliar street in a neighborhood with regular and steep streets in the north zone of Rio de Janeiro. Something told me that it was shortly after midnight. I had a clear sensation of having been peacefully left on the street. I walked down one of the commercial avenues for quite a while, strolling among people and examining the street scenes, particularly in places with lights and small gatherings of people, like bars and nightclub entrances. I did not experience any attempt at interaction by the extraphysical pedestrians. While passing a bar, I observed a conversation going on inside. Someone entered and bought some mint candy, which the cashier took out of a glass jar. I counted 3 intraphysical consciousnesses and 2 extraphysical consciousnesses inside the bar. At the end of the main street, in a small square with a few trees and benches, I came across an extraphysical consciousness who looked like a doctor. His name came to mind: Calmine, strong, athletic-looking, blondish, and appearing to be about 45 years old. He was attending to some extraphysical consciousnesses needing assistance. That stretch of street seemed better lit than the others. Upon exchanging mental messages with him, he quickly explained to me that his routine work was helping the needy. At night, the specialized task becomes intense as extraphysical consciousnesses, especially sick ones, enter into contact with sleeping persons. Each assistant in that work takes care of a defined area of service. The traffic, except in the main street, was light. Hardly any cars passed at all. There were many cars parked in the square. The doctor revealed plans to expand the assistance with the use of projected companions, creating a larger assistential team. This special brigade would be used for mainly nighttime assistance services in a specific place in one of the poorly lit and deserted cross streets, where their services would be centralized. The task did not appear to be very simple. From 6 p.m. on, when the greatest human anguish starts, the assistential team tries to diminish the depression, despair, sadness, longings, doubts, resentments, loneliness, and problems stemming from the unstructured relationships typical of big cities. He told me that the least pleasant aspect was that some intraphysical as well as extraphysical consciousnesses refuse to be assisted. Sometimes they don't even want to be approached, rejecting the extraphysical assistance. The assistant's work, far more complex than it seemed, functioned by linking itself to a nucleus of police stations, emergency care units, hospitals, several temples, the Salvation Army, suicide prevention centers, Alcoholics Anonymous, and other physical crisis control groups. I deduced that such services by helpers existed not only throughout the city, but in other places as well, especially in larger metropolises. Before saying goodbye, Carmine appeared to concentrate and offered me a small message as an exercise in mental concentration regarding ideal assistance. Every act of social assistance, no matter how small, signifies fraternity, is productive, and deserves praise. Any kind of human assistance is better than none. Nevertheless, the ideal social assistance has its own unmistakable universalistic characteristics. It is not official, since it is spontaneous. It is not a tax-deductible donation. It does not have a professional title. It has no secondary or political intentions. It does not back a personal image or cultivate myths. It does not encourage segregation of any kind. It is not restricted by prejudice. It does not expect gratitude nor require public understanding. It does not disseminate the act of assistance, regardless of circumstances. It is the donation of oneself, simple, pure, and direct, without mediation, demands, or conditions, and everyone can practice it in silence. On Earth, a planet with many countries, creatures, customs, religions, and interests, all inhabitants are naturally brothers. Happy are those who learn the universalistic principle, maximize fraternity, overcome taboos, and perform universalistic assistance while still in human life. In this way, they first receive the benefit of terrestrial liberation on the way to higher levels. Could it be more logical? The message was clear, categorical, and unambiguous. I expressed my thanks and said goodbye to the attentive doctor, who left towards one of the cross streets. I walked through the lights and shadows of the main street, passing idle transients and lazy extraphysical consciousnesses, and then returned immediately to the Soma. After returning, upon awakening at 1:43 a.m., the Soma was in the same position as before, the dorsal position, motionless, with arms extended and hands spread out on the legs.